come alive, where spirits rise.
That was 50 points off the track, baby.
In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. Through city streets and temples high, find your story beneath the sky. Waves scratch, pumping our sense, harmony flows to the best of lands. With the neon glow, where is best, the culture rich, where resistance in the morn of grace. We'll dance the night with every star, a guiding light. In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. The cherry lanes and
Well, I just
soaring
got myself
heights,
an AS
find your
valve already.
magic in the moonlit nights.
Alrighty, guys. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna be mainly truly talking about today, except for that, there's a couple of things, today it's mostly gonna be just off topic today, for most of it, except for, there's a couple of things that, what you guys need to really know is that, we got a Final Fantasy VII has been re-released. For those of you on Steam, the game has been re-released. Through it, and we've got the Trump State of the Union and the People's State of the Union tonight. I thought it was tomorrow night. I thought it was the 25th that was going to happen. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So I just wanted to really go through and share with you guys that that's what's going on, for today. So I'm not going to get into those two things right away. And we've also, I know that we got the Nintendo Treehouse thing going on, so I know probably a lot of people who are here are probably going to watch that or something, but unfortunately I'm not going to show you guys that one because what's the point in any of that. Now before we do anything, so we don't have any updated stuff for 1.5 for 1.57, I mean 1.58, we do not have, GMC has not updated this stuff, so just be aware that we are testing basically a lot of things pertaining to these things for testing purposes. Basically, I am using more cities in Canada. I don't have Beyond yet. Beyond's not available to us, which I don't mind not having Beyond. Okay, okay. I wanted to make sure, but I want to check the external contracts here in Flagstaff. 23 hours. Don't have time for that one today. Um, that one's going down to Oklahoma for 13. Rock Springs is going up that way to Wyoming. That one's going to take 9 hours to that, but see, that one's better price. Um, this one's also the same price as that one, which, to be honest, um, let's go and let's take that one, um, for it. And I'm gonna tell you guys, like, if I have problems speaking in English, I don't. Okay, I I do have problems speaking in English. I have problems speaking that, and to be honest, um, I realize I'm going to the other side of this thing. But I wanted to let you guys know that I speak very, very little of Spanish, um, and I basically very little, very, very little of that. Um, absolutely very little. Um, I know like two or few words in Japanese. Only word know how to say these words. I don't know how to read it. Um, um, and I know how to um, uh, um, and then I also know how to speak one word in German. Oh, it's up here. Okay. But there's a lot of these things that are going to be some challenging times right now for a lot of um for a lot of these game the a lot of challenges going on right now. Sorry, I'm like I said, I really don't have a lot of things to talk about except for, you know, for today. Because I did not come prepared. I was trying to find something to really want to talk about, and I couldn't find something that is there, except for the fact of that there is going to be two different State of the Unions tonight. Um, and of course, um, if anybody really doesn't seem to understand why is there two different ones, well, guess what? Um, there's gonna be two, and the one is gonna be put on by Midas Touch, and the other one's gonna be put on by Trump. And not everybody's going to the People's State of the Union. I think some people are going to go to the actual State of the Union over for what it's worth, and I know a lot of people are probably going to watch one or the other. To be honest, I am only going to be watching one, and you guys can already kind of figure it out with based on the topic, based on the the things that I personally talk about on a daily basis is that I'm always going to pretty much basically I try not to watch Trump as much anymore because of all of the things that he has done and all the things that he has said, things that really that really make me not want to watch Trump, and he has not really done the things. But if you really are interested in wanting to see that, one's at 8, one's at 7. So you might be able to catch the first hour of the Midas Touch one, and then go catch the State of the Union. But let's also be clear that why are we having it at 8 o'clock at night? Why don't we have it at 7? I don't know. I just don't know why, to be honest. And to be honest, a lot of the things that are going to be done is basically mainstream media is going to be doing one and the other, and a lot of people have basically dogpiled on Midas Touch. Even CNN dogpiled on them for having the People's State of the Union, because everybody should be there, even if you don't like the person, you still need to be there. It's like, okay, I understand that, but at also at the same point, if they want to put on an if you want to like, I'm pretty sure like Fox News is probably like, well, if they're going to do the state, if they're not going to the State of the Union and they're going to this People's State of the Union, then why'd you get mad at like, why are you gonna get mad if people decided to not want to go to the Super Bowl halftime show, and so you ended up creating a halftime show for something else because you didn't want to watch Bad Bunny because you didn't speak English? Give me a break. If you're not gonna sit there and watch a thing, like, I didn't even watch either one of them, and the only reason I didn't watch the Super Bowl halftime show is because I did not have access to watching the Super Bowl halftime show. Okay, I wanted to watch it. I wanted to go through and actually go through and actually watch the halftime show, because I don't care if it was Spanish or not. I've pretty much basically, you know, I don't care. Like, the halftime show is something that I would have enjoyed. I would have loved to watch it. I don't care if it was what happens if I would have gone forward? I would have had to... Dang. Dang. I sometimes forget where I'm going. Like, this is why I don't drive in real life. I just do this just because I like to play the game. And have something to talk to you guys instead of just... have something to in the background so that, you know, and things going on. But it's like, if you're going to basically then stop complaining about the halftime show and stop complaining about the People's State of the Union. That's basically all it is basically, to me, it seems like that it's kind of like a boycott of the State of the Union, but I don't really, I really don't know, exactly the whole situation going on with this. So we're just gonna have to see things in there. There's a little bit of a difference. Most likely, it's gonna be the people. And there have been a lot of people who are not going, but will be going to the People's State, and I will be going to the People's State because people around me or people around here, I'll tell you this: I am somebody that is not a Trump supporter anymore. Okay, I am not a Republican anymore because of the things that a lot of the things that I tend to realize that after I learned and after I studied on a few things, of course I'm going to tell you I'm not against, like, I am somewhat moderate Democrat than a moderate Republican. Why am I speeding? Why did I get a speeding violation when I was normally... Ugh. I'm just gonna let me coast down until I have to. That's what I do when I go downhill. I just let my engine coast. But most of you probably know that I am somebody that's basically was a person that supported him twice. I basically thought he was like, okay, he's a good president. You know, the first time I was like, okay, I can kind of get behind some of the things that he's done. There was a couple of things that I didn't like him in the first term, and that was basically, you know, the trans military thing and the trans stuff. But now I've kind of today I've kind of gone against a lot of the things, even some of the things that he did in his first term that I thought were great. No, I've basically kind of given up on him. Especially the tariffs. Like, the tariffs thing is really dumb. Dumb. I will not support a president that is going to enact tariffs because we have a deficit with a country, or because they're not willing to help us, but we're buying goods from them or whatnot. Like, let me be clear: the biggest buyer of goods was Canada. The biggest buyer now has basically been not going after American products anymore because of what he's doing, because of him alienating Canada, him basically trying to cut us off from the world, and we're not going to be able to, because, and if you think that we're cutting people, that he's cutting everybody off the world, then why did you let Nippon Steel, a Japanese company, come to America to do things? Why did you go after like, if you really want people to come to America to learn and build things, you have to do it over it's not going to change overnight. You're not going to be able to get the economy back on track because of a issue that Biden had or whatever. But to be honest, to be honest, Biden never really had any problems or on any of those issues. To be honest, and basically saying that that Biden had a horrible economy. Well, you gotta realize that that economy, like, if you look at a president, okay, you have to think about what happened in the first term of President Trump's, and compare it to the economy and how Biden was doing things. Okay, you can't say that, oh, Biden was crappy because at it. Okay, yes, there might be some things that he did horribly, that he did wrong. Okay, but that doesn't mean that he was a bad president. He was actually a better president. He actually had a fumble one time. Okay, yes, there's going to be times where people will fumble. Once in a while, they, like, for me, like, I don't talk pretty well English wise because I am not a very good English speaker. Nor am I a in that way, but I am not also do not speak any other language than English. I stutter a lot when I'm trying to think. My English writing and spelling, I do spell things frequently wrong. So it's not like I am a perfect person. I don't ever want to be perfect. I want to strive to become perfect, but I don't want to be perfect. If I was perfect right now, I would not be stuttering. I would, um, I would not be blind. I would not be partially blind. I'm not partially blind, but borderline blind. Um, I can still see. I can still, see things. It's just more of a lot of things are doubled distantly. Um, a lot of the time, so it really makes it harder for me to see a lot of things um, in a lot of those ways. But to be honest, I am fine. I'm okay with what's going on with myself, and I don't care. People can judge me for me being trans or whatever. I don't care. It's you're judging somebody without knowing the whole entire story of somebody, or knowing their whole entire life story, or knowing those things. You can't do those things. You can't basically just judge Biden saying he did a horrible job at it. He may have done some horrible things that you don't like, but he actually did a lot more good for this country than Trump has. Okay? And Trump right now, if you really want to say, oh, I have Trump derangement syndrome or whatever, I'm just going to say I'm going to turn it back on you. I said this yesterday, but, he has dementia. And if anybody does not want to believe it, then go and look up his own kids. Look at the family of Trump. And I'm supposed to stop somewhere, but where? Oh. Okay, no. I think it told me I could go not come here and actually just leave. And not have to go back through it. I don't care. On a lot of things, but when it comes to this country, I support this country as long as it's done properly, and as long as it's done right, and as long as it's done by following the Constitution. Okay, like I said, like a Second Amendment. Like if people come in and say, "Oh, you're not a Second Amendment person," I said, I don't own guns personally. But I don't care. I will follow the law. If the law says basically I can't have this gun, then I can't have this gun. That's fine. I don't care. I'm gonna follow the law. Up to most things. The only thing I won't follow is if I have to put my ID out there on the internet. I will tell you 90% of all the laws I have pretty much will follow, except for that stinking issue. But I will tell you, it's a lot of these these things that just really um, and then I can let it go. Um, to go for it, and it's like, and I don't know, I'm kind of out talking to myself on things that's just me. I will tell you, I'm not somebody that is, um, that you can understand a little bit on what's going on in these technological spaces and understand the political landscape if you just take some time to listen to both sides. For political content, listening to both sides. Technological content, like you can understand a little bit of the technology just by going and learning and studying and actually taking that time to learn and not just say, oh, I'm not going to use this because this thing is so horrible. I will tell you, I use AI specifically for a small little bit of things. I just go and use AI when I can't figure something out, when I'm not quite for sure. It's like, okay, I went and asked search engine to ask, is a semi-automatic weapon considered um, a burst rifle? Is that considered um, a a um, a semi-automatic rifle? Okay, and it's not. It's actually considered a fully automatic rifle. It's just a modification that allows you to burst fire in a certain way. So I basically was trying to see, okay, I looked up using start page and then I went and asked ChatGPT afterwards. That's how I do things. I go through a search engine, I go through start page first, and then if I don't feel like I see something, then I will go and I will search Google or ChatGPT, and then if I don't get it from either one of those, then I will look elsewhere. Then I don't know. Then I have those things, and so, and to be honest, um, for me, if I'm gonna tell you, like, I am a Second Amendment supporter, but at the same time, a lot of people, like, I look at this, and a lot of people say, oh, you can't have this gun, you can't have that gun, you can't have this, you can't have that certain type of gun. Well, guess what? The Constitution does not say anywhere within the Second Amendment telling you have the right to bear arms and you have the right to own a gun, kind of thing. But does it tell you have the right to own a 50 cal? A Does it tell you have to have that you can have a 50 cal sniper or a 9mm pistol or whatever? No, it doesn't say which kind of weapon you can have and can't have. It just says you have the right to bear arms. A lot of people will interpret that you have the right to own any kind of firearm you want, but then you also have other people that say you only have limited right to own a certain type of weapon because basically that's safe and whatnot. And it's all interpreted. So it's basically interpretation to what you believe and what you stand to do with the Second Amendment. But to be honest, for me, it's like I'm going either way because guess what? I don't care. Like, I am somebody that doesn't really care if your Second Amendment is infringed upon or if it's not, because it's not I'm not a gun owner myself, but I will tell you I support it as long as we're doing it properly and safely, and done things right through our own life. But for a lot of you who think that I am a right-leaning person, I am not, because a lot of the things that I support is I support universal health care. I support a living wage. I support the right to choose. Okay, I support a lot of these things in our life that a right thing to choose. Hold on, I'm making sure I pushed my mic in all the way because yesterday I didn't do that. And I had an issue yesterday when I was live streaming. So, but I will tell you that basically as long as you're not going out to harm anybody else with your choices, I don't care. You can have the right to go to church if you want. You have the right to not go to church. You have the right to get gender affirming care if you want for at any point at any age, as long as it's, you know, as long as it's done properly and done with proper care. You know, the only thing is making sure that kids who want to get surgery, they need to basically at 18 pretty much, you know, and or for it. But that's the only thing that I do with transgender care. I don't care if you're a trans person playing on a women's sports. I don't care, because a lot of people don't understand that in his sports, it's like, why are you going to complain about it? Like a lot of these people saying, oh well, they don't want men taking they don't want men taking women's trophies. Well, I can't think. Riley Gaines, I think, was the person that, and Leah Thomas. I can't remember the last name for Riley, but anyway, got angry at a sports title. What's the point? Got angry because she didn't receive her 5th place trophy? Like, seriously. That's it. That's the whole point with all of these sports things, is like, a sports thing is just to improve yourself if you're doing track or doing things that are individualistic. Banning a trans person from playing chess is not a physical sport. Chess is a mental sport. Banning somebody playing esports because of whatever, or these things like that. These things that you end up banning X, Y, or Z for, they don't look into the care for these sports, knowing what these sports are for, between physical and mental, you know, and they just want to ban people even playing darts, for crying out loud. Yeah, darts are a little bit physical, but it's also like, what you're gonna complain? What you should really be doing, instead of complaining, is trying to show that you can beat a trans person. Show that you can beat somebody like that in pool or whatever sport it is. Prove yourself. Get better at the sport. You know, improve. And a lot of people say you can improve on everything. You can improve on doing everything in your daily life. Okay? There's improvements that you can make in your health. Your health is the way you choose to do your health. I'm not going to tell you how to support your health. I'm just going to tell you that I personally am drinking more water than I am drinking pop today, but that's me changing my habit and me changing the way that I want to do things. It does not harm you if I start changing my lifestyle to fit your lifestyle. No, it's not going to harm me if I change my lifestyle for you, or whatnot. It's basically what I'm trying. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Basically, my lifestyle change does not harm you because it does not affect you. Me sitting here live streaming. If you don't want to be here and watching me drive truck or listen to me talk as a trans person, then you have the right to go and watch somebody else. You don't need to go out and be angry at somebody because you disagree with something. Okay? A lot of times I will go in and I will ask people is like, why do you want the Ten Commandments in the why are we putting the Ten Commandments in the classrooms? It's like you want to put Ten Commandments up there. It's like, okay, well, I am also somebody that goes to church on a Sunday, goes reads the scriptures occasionally. I don't read it like on a consistent time. And I'm gonna tell you, it's like, and I'm pretty much a church-going person. But why should we have the Ten Commandments displayed in the classroom when a church is just literally right around the corner that anybody can go to, and that anybody can be willing to take up the scriptures and learn it at their own time and their own pace and whenever they want to learn about it. Forcing somebody to learn a Bible in these space, or forcing people to learn, is not going to force them to follow God. Okay? They're not going to be there to follow God. They're being forced to, and if they're forced to, they're not going to want to learn. You have to learn. You have to want to learn on it. And that you can't go and say, look, I want to force my kids to, maybe they'll have a better maybe they will be better if we force kids to read the scriptures in schools, or force people to have the Ten Commandments. No. Basically, putting up the Ten Commandments in school is not going to change a child's directive or change an adult either. Guess what? There are a lot of Christians out there that will that say that they follow the Ten Commandments, but then break every single one of them. Okay? That say that they follow, and then when they say that they follow the Ten Commandments, but they lie. Okay, I'm not perfect at following the Ten Commandments. I have lied before. I've lied plenty of times in my life. I have stolen before in my life. I have done a lot of these things in my life that do not follow the Ten Commandments. Okay? And I'm not saying all of them. Okay? There's been a couple that I do kind of try to follow as much as I can, as the best that I can, and actually follow them to the T, compared to the other ones that I have not really followed a lot to. Okay? I am still trying to be better about it, but that doesn't mean that I am absolutely 100% perfect at doing things in my life, because nobody should be. Nobody is perfect. Nobody, like, I'm going to tell you, like, I have sinned, and I will tell you that. But a lot of people will say, look, like, if you ask somebody, have you ever sinned in your life, and they tell you no, then that means they have basically are not willing to change their lifestyle, not willing to change anything. And that's not right. So I basically just try to stick to do following as much as I can. It's not perfect. I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So a lot of people will look at me and be like like I don't, like, my church is horrible, bad place, or a bad church to be in. It's like, no, it's not. It's only bad because you haven't really seen or have learned or have gone and actually nope, it's up here. that I need to rest because I don't need gas. Gas seems to be those that are, it's unrealistic for gas in this game, to be honest. I don't care. I'm not making this game to be realistic. I just want this game to I did not mean to decouple my trailer. Um so it's basically, it's like you don't want to force people to learn something. Like, yeah, we need to learn, well, we should be learning things in general. Actually, because this is hold on. Just because this is a World of Trucks thing, um I can rest twice, and I can get I can go throughout the day. I always like to drive during the day, then I like to drive at night, because it's for you guys. Like, I actually really noticed this. It's really hard to see driving at night. And it might be that day, that better nights to see. I might have to change that, to be honest. And move it and just go back to what I was using before. But that's okay. I'm going to tell you guys, like, the mods that I do use have not been fully tested or updated for 1.58 fully tested, as in they are working. There hasn't been any, I haven't had any issues with them. You know, ProMod, I haven't been to ProMods Canada yet. I've been through some of the these detailed areas through, like, California and things like that. And I'm really enjoying the 1.58 update, actually, because it gives me a little bit better readability for for the fuel line, for the fuel stuff, that I can gauge a lot better in this game. So I really like that. And to be honest, this game does it just reminded me a lot of some of the older games that, not older games, but more just reminds me of some of the updates within some of these racing games that have a setup like this. But one of the other things that I tend to really enjoy just driving in a game like this is just relaxation. And it relaxes me a little bit, and I like that about this game. And a lot of games out there do not really necessarily have the relaxation factor, because most of the games that I play are high octane, fast paced, and this game just really takes a lot of that out of having that. But like I'm going to tell you guys, as soon as I'm done with the Valentine's Day stuff for American Truck Simulator, and Euro Truck, to be honest, as soon as I'm done with the Valentine stuff, then basically I'm going to go back to 13. It is, because I am going to continue to get that game done so that we can go on to the next portion of that, Final Fantasy 13-2, and then Lightning Returns, and kind of get that game finished. But I will tell you, I drive in American and Euro Truck right now. Euro Truck, if you want to see what the graphics looks like for the uh, the UI in this game, you guys can always go and look at my Euro Truck past, or look at the older um, American truck videos, past live streams, pretty much. That allows you to see the differences in the UI, and I really like the new UI. I thought I wouldn't until basically I saw it and came in, and I was like, okay, now this makes much more sense, better readability, um, for me anyway. Like even if I had the 2020, I like the way that they're doing the fuel line, because the fuel line was really horrible for me. Um, to see, I could see everything else, just that fuel was the one that really made it worse. Um, but there's also another update to another game that I play on this channel that I haven't gotten into because I gotta get this done. Is City Skylines 2. The Ice Flake Studios has just put out their update for it. And so maybe we will see how that looks when I'm done with this too. Just to see the look and feel of the game. But I don't know. I just know that within the updates to video games, Final Fantasy VII got an update to Final Fantasy VII. There's two different Final Fantasy VIIs on the Steam right now. If you bought Final Fantasy VII before 2020, before today, maybe even yesterday, I don't know when they actually had it fully done, but they've updated the game to basically add a few things, and it basically got moved to a mobile version of the game. Better, to be honest, I beat Final Fantasy VII through Windows a while back using 7th Heaven, and 7th Heaven mods will not work with the updated Final Fantasy VII, but they might be able to change that in the future, where the mods might come in and work on it. It's the same thing with Final Fantasy VIII. If you go out and buy Final Fantasy VIII non-remastered on Steam, you will be able to get through with some mods on there. But if you're on the remastered version, you will not be able to modify the game. But to be honest, I really don't care about mods in a lot of my games. If I'm able to mod, I will be happy, and I can, but I don't modify every game. I only modify American and Euro Truck because these games, you get more for what you modify and what you do for mods, and I just don't like. It's like I modified 7 because I could. I modified 9 and never finished 9 because I had modified 9 as well. But because I'm using Linux now, I cannot modify 9, and I cannot modify 7, so it's like, whatever. And that's why I never finished 9 to begin with. I probably, last year, should have finished 9 before I had switched to Linux, so that we could have had the story finished and completed the game, but I switched over, and I haven't gone back to 9 to finish it, so it's like, whatever. I don't care, to be honest. If I can modify here on through this game, through Linux, then fine, I can do it. And it's easy to modify Euro Truck and easy to modify American Truck too. Basically, like, the site that I always go to and I use is GMC Community. That allows for me to create my dream ability to drive wherever I feel like I want to drive. If I'm not gonna quick job just a quick job. If I had Louisiana, Missouri, and Iowa right now, I probably would be utilizing coast to coast. I would probably be utilizing um, uh, Western Canada, uh, Reforma, Beyond, and a lot more mods um, if I had those available, but I do not have those three maps. So I pretty much basically I'm basically right now $30.29 something on my Steam because I bought two new maps for American Truck because they were $5.99 and they have their sale going on. I don't know how long that's gonna last. There are a couple other games that if you wanted to get through SCS that are like $1 and want to see some older games, go for it. $1 worth to play the 18 Wheels of Steel is absolutely a great way to pick up a game for trucking. Um, it's not going to be the perfect. It's not going to be what you get here. Um, I even think that Euro Truck Simulator is there and available for you guys to go and download and play. I will tell you, if you want to see a Euro Truck Simulator later thing, you guys can let me know if you want to see the first one. I'm not going to go back to the first one because I'm going to stick with American and Euro Truck. I prefer Euro Truck to American Truck, but right now I cannot go to 1.58 yet because because that one I have so many more mods that will potentially could break that game more than what I can do here, because I pretty much basically I just use more cities. I use and ProMods Canada. That's all I use. So pretty much basically I just went in and installed all of those, and I do Beyond. But I don't have Beyond right now because Beyond is only in beta form of 1.58. So once Beyond gets into the game, then I will utilize that. Maybe they will have some more mods in the 1.58 that will allow us to get into further. So I will pretty much use the GMC mods once they are available and once they are usable. They're only in beta form right now. If you have access to Patreon, you can basically get access to their mods and beta forms and basically be a beta tester. I'm not. I just went and basically said, can I update to 1.58 with Canada? Because I knew Canada was up there. I wanted to check to see if more city stuff was available. So, and it is. It's the best way to get into this game. Those are the only map mods I do use. I also use Trucks map as well. And that's all I use. I don't use any other mods. I haven't used Reforma in a long while because when I installed went from 1.56 to 1.57, I could not use Reforma. Reforma required me to have access to a few extra maps, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I just won't use Reforma. I won't go to Mexico. And that's fine by me. I don't need to go to Mexico. I don't need to go down there when I have spent a lot of my time going through Eurotruck, though. I have basically I've been buying things for that one right off the bat, because, you know, Um, I pretty much basically been saving a lot of my birthday money from like last year and Christmas stuff. Um, for me being able to get these maps. You know, I wouldn't have these maps if I didn't have that money, and I did not have um and if I had a job, but if I had a job, I would probably um absolutely be probably if I had a job by now, I probably would have um bought all of the maps for American Truck. And for it. But unfortunately, um, you know, if you guys want to see me again, you guys can hit that follow. Um, we are pretty much halfway through. This does end March 1st, that UTC time, which will end on Sunday. So we do have a lot to get done, to get this event done. I just recently updated because I got note that Canada got an update earlier in the week. And I was like, okay, it's time for me to update. It's time for me to see if I can get access to it. Now, of course, if you do have, like I always say, if you have the base game, and you buy basically enough to get Oregon and Washington, you can play ProMods Canada and get a little bit more out of your game. If you get the more cities Washington and more cities Oregon, more cities California, then you can get more out of this game just for buying a small portion of the game. So and that's just basically being, you know, if you're doing Euro Truck though, you probably should go and buy every map DLC that there is, and to be honest, that's the best way to get mods for that one. But this one you can spend not so much in getting mods, but I'm gonna save it here for today. I will be back tomorrow with some more Euro. Whoops, it's 24. Whoops, 24. 26. I will be back tomorrow with some more Euro Truck and hopefully some more news and stuff. You know, if you wanted to see a couple of things that I will share with you guys before I do officially go, tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time or 8 p.m. Eastern, there will be the People's State of the Union. So if you are wanting to see that one, that'll be at that point. The State of the Union will be at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, for it. So if you want to see both State of the Unions or see partial of one and watch the other one, that's where you can do that. Make sure you guys are subscribed here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that bell notification with the all, because if you don't, you're not going to get notified when I do go live, and I'm pretty much live every day except for Saturdays. And the reason why I'm not live on Saturdays is because I am watching a Tech Talk. I'm watching Tech Talk with Barnacles and Auxiliary. So if you want to see me hanging out there, that's where I will be, most likely just listening I rarely do talk in that chat because there's no point in it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And so, anyway, but if you guys want to see some Call of Duty tonight, I will be live with some multiplayer tonight for some Call of Duty, or zombies, whatever. For that, through the Trovo stream. So, and I'll tell you, I'm always live twice a day, but I am live pretty much for single player in the afternoon, multiplayer at night. So, and YouTube's once a day. Trovo is twice. So, anyway, you guys already know the schedule and know what times I have. They're always going to come throughout the screen through chat and stuff. And I am usually 2 hours. I'm usually an hour and a half to 2 hours in the afternoon, and at night I'm usually whenever I feel like I need to go to bed, or when I'm tired. Sometimes I will be up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I will be up till 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I will start later than I normally would because of things and stuff like that. So, and to be honest, guys, when I do Euro Truck or American Truck, I do talk politics, I do talk video games, I do talk about whatever. So if you want to see that, that's a great way. If you want to see other games, like Final Fantasy, City Skylines, and other games, you can always hit that subscribe as well for that. So, and you may not be subscribed. Just remember, if you're whatever channel you're watching, make sure that if you are subscribed, that you were subscribed to that channel, but you are not now, make sure you resubscribe, because YouTube sometimes will clear out your subscription feed. So, because they want you to be discovered. I don't really watch a lot of my subscriptions. The only people that I really watch is Jay's, Barnacles, Only in Japan, Go and Only in Japan, and a few tech channels, and Midas Touch. So, you know, I don't watch like all my 150 plus subscribers that I have. I used to watch them at one point and subscribe to them because I was like, okay, I really like their content, and I just kind of really drifted off away from some of those people. So, anyway, we will catch you guys later. Bye.